English Pro Max Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the English Pro Max podcast, where we make learning English feel natural and fun while helping you build better habits. I'm Monica.
And I'm Joey. We're really glad you decided to spend some time with us today.
Whether you're making breakfast right now, getting dressed for work, or maybe still cozy in bed, you're in exactly the right place.
And hey, if you're still under the covers, no judgment here. We totally understand. Sometimes the best learning happens when you're comfortable.
Absolutely. You can learn English anywhere, even wrapped up in your favorite blanket. So Joey, before we dive into today's topic, how was your morning?
Honestly, it was a bit chaotic. I woke up late, grabbed a quick bowl of cereal, and rushed out the door. I kept telling myself I'd get organized tomorrow.
The classic tomorrow promise. I think most of our listeners can relate to that feeling.
Yeah, mornings can be this weird mix of feeling tired, rushed, and hopeful all at the same time.
My morning wasn't much better. I woke up, reached for my phone to check the time, and before I knew it, I'd been scrolling for 15 minutes.
Ah, yes, the disappearing 15 minutes. That happens to me all the time. You think you'll just glance at one thing and suddenly half your morning is gone.
Exactly. And that's actually why today's topic is so valuable for everyone listening.
Right, because we're talking about creating a morning routine to improve your English. Not some perfect, impossible routine, but a real one that fits into actual life.
For so many English learners, the morning is just alarm, phone, panic, rush to work or school. Then they say they have no time for English practice.
We want to show you a different approach. A simple, peaceful routine that can slip right into the morning you already have.
And before we get into the details, we want to tell you about how this podcast works and what makes it special.
Yes, this is important. For every episode of the English Pro Max podcast, we always speak at an intermediate level. We keep things clear and easy to follow.
But at the same time, we sprinkle in some advanced vocabulary, useful phrases, and natural expressions. That way you're comfortable, but you're also growing.
When we introduce a stronger word or phrase, we'll stop and explain it in simple terms. We'll give you examples so you understand exactly how to use it.
So you feel safe because the conversation is relaxed and natural, but you also feel like you're stretching your English muscles just a little bit.
It's like doing a gentle workout. Not too intense, but enough to make you stronger over time.
Does this kind of approach actually work, though? Can you really improve just by listening to casual conversations with some advanced words mixed in?
I believe it does. Not overnight like magic, but gradually. It's like watering a plant. You don't see growth every single day, but over weeks and months, something beautiful happens.
And the reason it works is because it's sustainable. You're not forcing yourself to study grammar tables for 3 hours. You're just listening to interesting topics while picking up natural language.
Exactly. When learning feels easy and enjoyable, you actually stick with it. And consistency is what creates real change.
So here's a small challenge we have for you today. While you're listening to this episode, try to notice one new word or phrase that catches your attention.
It could be a single word that sounds useful, or maybe an expression you've heard before but never really understood.
At the end of this episode, ask yourself what new word or phrase you learned today, then try to create one sentence using it.
You can say it out loud to yourself, write it in a notebook, or if you're feeling confident, share it in the comments below this episode.
When you actively use a new word like that, your brain forms a much stronger connection to it. It's like the difference between watching someone exercise and actually moving your own body.
We really do love reading your sentences in the comments. It helps us see your progress, and it helps other learners too.
And if you enjoy this relaxed way of learning English through daily life topics, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this with anyone else who's working on their English.
Your support helps us reach more learners and create more episodes like this one.
Okay, now that you understand our teaching style and what we're trying to do here, let's jump into today's main topic.
Morning routines for improving your English. We're going to look at a typical morning with all its chaos and distractions and figure out where we can quietly add English without creating more stress.
So take a deep breath, get comfortable, maybe sip your coffee or tea, and let's explore how to transform your mornings.
Let's start with a basic question. Why are we focusing so much on mornings specifically? Why not afternoons or evenings?
For me, mornings are like a blank canvas. Nothing's been painted yet. Your mind is fresh. The day hasn't bombarded you with demands, and you haven't been pulled in 1,000 different directions.
Yeah, it's like the world is still yawning and stretching. There aren't as many notifications, fewer people need your attention, and you actually have a brief window of peace.
And how you use that window can really shape your entire day. When we say shape your day, we mean those first moments set the energy and mood for everything that follows.
It's like picking the first song on a road trip playlist. If you start with something energizing and positive, the whole journey feels better.
But if you start with stress and chaos, like immediately diving into work emails or scrolling through negative news, that frantic energy tends to stick with you.
So if you begin with something purposeful and positive, like a short English practice, that calm, focused feeling travels with you through the day.
And when you do this repeatedly, it doesn't just improve your English. It can genuinely transform how you experience life.
Do you have any real examples of someone whose morning routine actually changed their English skills?
Yes, actually, there's a listener named Marcus who shared his story with us. He works night shifts at a hospital, so his schedule is completely backwards from most people.
That must make consistent practice really difficult.
It was. By the time he got home in the morning, he was completely drained. He'd collapse into bed and tell himself he'd practice English later, but later never happened.
I can imagine. When you're exhausted, everything feels impossible. It's like your brain is running on empty.
Exactly. He felt guilty and frustrated. He really wanted to improve his English for better job opportunities, but he couldn't find the energy at the end of his shifts.
So what did he change?
One day, he decided to flip his approach. Instead of trying to study after work when he was exhausted, he started practicing right when he woke up in the afternoon before his shift.
Smart. So he was using his freshest energy for English instead of his leftovers.
Exactly. He set his alarm just 20 minutes earlier than usual. When he woke up, before checking his phone or doing anything else, he'd put on his headphones and listen to an English podcast while making his pre-shift meal.
Same routine, just different content. Instead of silence or music, he chose English.
Right. And then while he ate, he'd spend 5 minutes reading a short article in English. Nothing complicated, just something interesting.
So his meal prep and eating time became his English learning time. That's really efficient.
And after 2 weeks, he added one more element on his commute to the hospital. Instead of zoning out, he'd practice speaking quietly to himself, describing what he saw or thinking through conversations he might have at work.
Did he notice any improvements?
Not immediately, but after about a month, he realized he was understanding his international colleagues much better. He wasn't asking them to repeat things as often.
That's the power of consistency. Small actions, repeated daily, create compound growth.
When we say compound growth, we mean the effects multiply over time. It's like interest in a bank account. Each day seems small, but the results accumulate.
So the lesson isn't that everyone needs to practice exactly like Marcus did. The lesson is to find the pockets of time in your own morning and claim them for English.
Precisely. Let's talk about why morning routines are so powerful for learning in general.
Okay, what makes mornings special beyond just having time?
It's about the state of your mind. When you first wake up, your brain is like a sponge that hasn't absorbed anything yet. It's clean and ready.
As opposed to the end of the day when your brain is saturated with information, stress, decisions, and fatigue.
Exactly. Whatever you expose yourself to first in the morning gets absorbed more deeply. Your attention is sharper, your willpower is stronger, and you haven't been worn down yet.
So if the first thing you feed your brain is English, even just for 10 or 15 minutes, it really sinks in.
Yes, and there's another benefit. When you accomplish something meaningful early in the day, it creates positive momentum.
What do you mean by momentum?
Momentum is like a rolling ball. Once it starts moving, it wants to keep moving. When you do something productive in the morning, it's easier to stay productive throughout the day.
So practicing English first thing might actually make you more motivated and focused at work or school too.
Absolutely. It's like you're proving to yourself that you're capable and disciplined, that confidence carries over into other tasks.
Okay, so someone listening right now is probably thinking, this sounds great, but what should I actually do? What does a morning English routine look like?
We can break it down into 4 simple components. Think of it as a light breakfast for your English brain, not a huge feast.
I like that metaphor. What's the first component?
Component 1 is listen to English. This is the easiest starting point because you can do it while doing other things.
Right? Like instead of opening social media the second you wake up, you could open a podcast app or YouTube and play something in English.
Exactly. Same phone, same bed, different choice. You could listen while you shower, while you get dressed, while you prepare breakfast.
And it doesn't need to be complicated educational content, right?
Not at all. It could be a podcast about topics you enjoy. It could be English music where you pay attention to the lyrics. It could be a short news summary or a motivational talk.
The key is that you're waking up your ears and getting your brain used to processing English sounds.
And when your ears are warmed up, it's time to activate your mouth. Component 2 is speak out loud.
This is where a lot of learners get stuck. They can listen and read, but speaking feels scary or awkward.
That's completely normal. But here's the thing, your mouth needs practice just like any muscle. If you never use it, it stays weak.
And the morning is actually perfect for speaking practice because you're usually alone. Nobody's listening or judging.
Exactly. After you've listened to something, try repeating a few sentences out loud, or just talk to yourself about your day.
Like what?
You could say things like, okay, today I need to finish that project, call my friend, and buy groceries. Or you could describe how you're feeling, I'm a bit tired today, but I'm looking forward to my coffee.
So you're just narrating your thoughts in English instead of in your native language.
Yes, and you could even challenge yourself to speak for 2 full minutes without stopping. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. The point is building fluency and confidence.
Your tongue and brain are forming connections. The more you speak even to yourself, the more natural it becomes.
And speaking out loud also helps you notice where you hesitate or what words you don't know yet. That awareness is valuable.
Okay, so we've listened and spoken. What's component 3?
Component 3 is write in English. This is where you organize your thoughts instead of just letting them float around randomly.
How long should someone write?
Just a few sentences, maybe a short paragraph. You could write about your goals for the day, something you're grateful for, or a reflection on yesterday.
And this isn't formal writing for a teacher. It's personal journaling.
Exactly. The goal is to think in English and express yourself. Grammar mistakes are okay. This is a safe space to experiment.
There's actually something really calming about writing in the morning. It's like clearing mental clutter before the day gets busy.
That's a great way to describe it. Writing helps you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings. When we say aware, we mean conscious and present, not running on autopilot.
And after you write, you often feel lighter, like you've organized a messy closet in your mind.
Beautiful analogy. And the 4th component is review what you've learned previously.
Why is review so important?
Because learning without review is like filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You keep adding water, but it keeps leaking out.
So you need to go back and reinforce the things you've already learned, or they'll fade away.
Exactly. You could spend 5 minutes reviewing vocabulary from last week, or reread a paragraph you wrote a few days ago, or listen again to a podcast episode you enjoyed.
Repetition is how information moves from short-term memory into long-term memory.
Yes. And with consistent review, English stops feeling like separate facts you're trying to memorize. It starts feeling like a natural part of how you think.
When we say consistent, we mean regular and repeated. Not perfect, but steady, like watering a plant a little bit every few days instead of drowning it once a month.
Perfect explanation. So those are the 4 components. Listen, speak, write, review, even if you only spend 5 minutes on each one. That's 20 minutes total.
20 minutes that could genuinely change your English skills over time.
Now, I know what some people are thinking. They're saying, I just don't have time in the morning. I'm too busy.
And that's a valid concern. People have kids to take care of, long commutes, early shifts, life is complicated.
But sometimes when we say we don't have time, what we really mean is our time is already filled with habits we never consciously chose.
Like scrolling through social media for 20 minutes without even realizing it.
Exactly. Maybe you can't wake up an hour earlier, that might not be realistic, but maybe you can shift how you use 15 minutes you already have.
Same shower, but listening to English while you're in there. Same breakfast, but reviewing vocabulary while you eat.
When we say realistic, we mean it fits into your actual life, not some imaginary perfect life.
A realistic plan is one you can actually follow. If you tell yourself you'll study for 2 hours every morning, but you only have 30 minutes of free time, that's not realistic.
Right. But if you commit to just 10 minutes of English during your existing morning routine, that's achievable. And achievable plans are the ones that actually stick.
There's also this belief that only naturally talented people can become really good at English.
That's such a harmful myth. When you look at people who've achieved fluency, the common thread isn't talent, it's persistence.
They're not necessarily the smartest people in the room. They're just the ones who showed up every single day, even when it was hard.
Maybe they failed tests. Maybe teachers told them they weren't good at languages, but they kept their small promise to themselves.
While others slept in, they listened for 10 minutes. While others scrolled mindlessly, they wrote 3 sentences.
Those tiny actions are like drops of water. Individually, they seem insignificant, but over time, even water can carve through stone.
That's why we believe small habits create big transformations, not in a week, but in a year, in 5 years.
When you commit to small daily actions, you become almost unstoppable, not because you're superhuman, but because you're reliable.
So why go through all this effort to improve your English? What's the point?
English isn't just about passing a test or impressing people. It's about opening doors you didn't even know existed.
Better job opportunities, the ability to travel with confidence, access to information and entertainment from all over the world.
Maybe for you, it's being able to watch your favorite shows without subtitles. Maybe it's writing a professional email without anxiety. Maybe it's connecting with people from different countries.
English gives you options. It expands your world.
And it also builds confidence. That quiet feeling of I can handle this when you're faced with a challenge.
And morning is the perfect time to build that confidence slowly and steadily, when the world is quiet and your mind is clear.
So if we summarize everything, the message is simple. Don't waste your mornings just rushing through them on autopilot.
Use them intentionally. Listen a little, speak a little, write a little, review a little.
When we say intentionally, we mean on purpose, with awareness, not just going through the motions.
And when you repeat these small actions day after day, you'll start to feel more capable, more energized, and more proud of yourself.
When we say energized, we mean full of positive energy, awake and ready to take on challenges.
Your life won't transform in one morning, but it will absolutely transform if you use many mornings wisely.
And we're honored to be part of your mornings, whether you're listening in your car, in your kitchen, or yes, even under your blanket.
You know, Monica, we used quite a few useful words and phrases today. Maybe we should slow down and highlight some of them.
Great idea. Think of this as a gentle vocabulary walk, not a test, just a chance to really absorb some useful language.
And as we go through these, think about which ones feel most useful for your own life.
One phrase we used was shape your day. When we say your morning shapes your day, we mean those first moments determine the tone and energy of everything that follows.
It's like setting the temperature in a room. If you start cold and rushed, the whole day feels that way. But if you start calm and focused, that feeling spreads.
You could say, listening to English in the morning really shapes my day in a positive way.
Another phrase we mentioned was compound growth. This means effects that build on themselves and multiply over time.
Like a snowball rolling down a hill, it starts small, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow and gets bigger and bigger.
With English, each day of practice seems small, but those days stack on top of each other and suddenly you've made huge progress.
You could say I'm experiencing compound growth in my vocabulary because I practice a little every single day.
We also talked about momentum. Momentum is the force that keeps something moving forward once it's already in motion.
Imagine pushing a shopping cart. The first push is hard because it's not moving yet, but once it's rolling, keeping it going takes much less effort.
When you practice English in the morning, you create momentum that carries into the rest of your day. You feel productive, so you continue being productive.
You could say, my morning English practice gives me momentum to stay focused at work.
Another important word is aware. Being aware means paying attention and noticing, not just going through life on autopilot.
It's the difference between eating lunch while staring at your phone versus actually tasting your food and enjoying it.
When you're aware during your morning routine, you're present. You notice how you feel, what you're learning, what's working, and what isn't.
You could say, I'm trying to be more aware of how I spend my mornings instead of just rushing through them.
We mentioned consistent several times. Consistent means regular and reliable, doing something repeatedly over time.
It's like brushing your teeth. You don't brush for an hour once a month. You brush for 2 minutes every single day.
Consistency beats intensity when it comes to learning. 10 minutes every day is better than 3 hours once a week.
You could say, I'm not perfect, but I'm consistent with my English practice every morning.
Another key word is realistic. Something realistic is actually doable in your real life with your real schedule and energy.
An unrealistic plan is like buying shoes that are 3 sizes too small. They look nice, but you'll never actually wear them because they don't fit.
A realistic English routine fits into the life you already have. It doesn't require you to become a different person.
You could say, practicing for 10 minutes each morning is realistic for me, but 2 hours isn't.
We also use the word intentionally. Being intentional means doing something on purpose, by choice, not by accident or habit.
It's the opposite of mindless. When you're intentional, you pause and decide instead of just reacting.
Instead of automatically grabbing your phone and scrolling, you intentionally choose to listen to English first.
You could say, I'm being more intentional about my mornings by choosing English over social media.
Another useful word is energized. Feeling energized means feeling full of energy, awake, and ready to take action.
It's not about being hyper or crazy, it's just feeling alive and capable instead of drained and sluggish.
A good morning routine can leave you feeling energized even if you're naturally not a morning person.
You could say, after my 10-minute English session, I feel more energized for the rest of my day.
We talked about being on autopilot. This means doing things automatically without thinking or being conscious of them.
Like when you drive home from work and suddenly realize you don't remember the journey because your brain was somewhere else.
Many people go through their entire morning on autopilot, doing the same things without any awareness.
You could say, I used to go through my mornings on autopilot, but now I'm more intentional about how I start my day.
One more useful expression is clearing mental clutter. Mental clutter is when your mind feels messy and overwhelmed with random thoughts.
It's like having 50 browser tabs open. Your brain is trying to process everything at once and nothing gets your full attention.
Writing in the morning helps clear that mental clutter. You organize your thoughts on paper so your mind feels cleaner and calmer.
You could say journaling in English helps me clear mental clutter before my day gets busy.
Okay, now it's your turn. While you were listening, hopefully one of these words or phrases stood out to you.
Maybe it was intentionally, or realistic, or compound growth, or something else we mentioned.
At the end of this episode, or even right now if you want to pause, ask yourself what new word or phrase you learned today.
Then challenge yourself to create one simple sentence using it. It doesn't need to be perfect or fancy, just honest and real.
You can say it out loud where you are, write it in a notebook, or share it in the comments if you're feeling brave.
When you actively use a new word like this, your brain creates a much stronger memory of it. It's like the difference between watching someone lift weights and actually lifting them yourself.
And your sentence might inspire another learner. They'll read it and think, oh, that's a great way to use that word.
If you enjoyed this conversation about mornings, routines, and transforming your English, we'd really appreciate your support.
Please like this episode, subscribe to our channel, and consider sharing it with a friend who's also learning English.
Your support helps us create more content like this and reach more learners who want to improve in a calm, practical way.
And tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, maybe you'll remember this conversation and make one small choice differently.
Maybe you'll listen to English for just 5 minutes, or speak a few sentences to yourself, or write one paragraph.
Whatever you choose, remember that small steps add up. You're building something valuable one morning at a time.
And we'll be here walking alongside you on this journey. This was the English Pro Max podcast.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Monica. Take care of yourself, keep showing up, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Keep learning, keep growing, and remember that your mornings are powerful. Use them wisely.
Goodbye for now, and thanks for making us part of your morning routine.